Good morning, and thanks for making ekaboom.tv part of your morning routine.
I'm Ruben, and this is Joan Romero, and today we're going to talk about hiring in the Philippines.
So let's get down to business. You want to hire someone maybe in the Philippines?
We are primarily a U.S. based company. We've got U.S. staff, especially for a lot of our critical things. But there are things that make sense for us to hire in the Philippines. So we do have a couple staff that work in the Philippines, and we love them. They're amazing. They're amazing. And there's a lot of advantages to hiring people in the Philippines. One of which is that they're native. A lot of them speak English. They learn English in school. So English is, it may not be a primary language, but it is
Very common.
very, very common. Almost every Philippine speaks English. So that's a great advantage right off the top. They're also just amazingly devoted and hard workers. So they will work very hard for you. They'll be very devoted to you.
If
You
you're
don't.
good to them too. I
Well,
mean,
obviously, you want to be good to people. I mean, I would never recommend to be bad to anyone, no matter where they come from or where they are. But there are some specific ways in which to work with Philippines that's different from working with other people. So why don't you talk
well,
about
we
some
can
of
talk
those?
about that. But another thing I wanted to say about benefits is a lot of them are flexible. If you want them to work during your hours, you can say, you talk about that up front. Okay, I want you to be working when I'm working, and this is when I work. Or how we did it was we said, work your normal daytime hours. They're 12 hours off of us. And we'll touch base at 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock at night for us, 7 a.m. for them. We touch base. We make sure they have all the information they need. We're still up for a couple more hours so we can check emails to see if they have any questions. They work while we're sleeping. And then at 7 o'clock at night for them, 7 in the morning for us, we're checking emails just to make sure the work was done. Is there any last minute things we need? Did we wish we said something different? Maybe we'll have to wait again. But once we got that working, it was like our company's working around the clock, literally, because we're taking the day shift, they're taking their day shift, and it was just a really nice synergy
Yeah, yeah.
going on there.
But there are some things that are specific to Philippines that make them, I think, different than a lot of other people you might hire overseas or whatnot. Like I said, they're great workers. They're very loyal, but you do need to be exceptionally careful about how you say things to them, how you phrase things to them. You don't want to come off as mean or disappointed
Or
or
just flippant.
yeah, very angry or whatever. Generally, if you do, I've heard a lot of stories. We haven't had this experience, but I've heard a lot of stories where people just disappear. They disappear. They never.
They're embarrassed or ashamed.
Right, and they feel bad, and so instead of confronting you and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry" or whatever, they basically disappear and you never hear from them again. So it is important to be extra cautious, and there have been times even when we are super super cautious about saying something like, "Hey, just so you know, this was supposed to be done this way. For future, this one needs to be changed, but in the future, we need to do things this way." And we get emails back. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope, please, give me another chance." And I mean, we are very, very careful about wording them so we don't, we're not, they know that we're not trying to place blame or threaten them or try to.
We're just trying to be clear.
We just want to be clear and have them know exactly how things are supposed to be done. And that's they're very humble, and we love our Philippine workers. We love them. We love them. We enjoy working with them. They're very dedicated. I've worked with other outsourcers in other countries. I'm not going to talk about other countries specifically, but I have worked with other outsourcers in other countries, and there have been times when we would correct them or say, "Hey, we need to do this or that," and instead of being apologetic, they're flippant. "Oh, well, that's not my fault. that's this thing's fault or that's this person's fault. So, they don't
take any responsibility.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is like true with all countries or all people and all nations.
But you just
I'm not going to paint that broad stroke picture. But I'm just saying I have had that experience that has happened with other outsourcers and other locations. That has never happened to me with the people that I work with in the Philippines. They may share their own constructive criticism or come back to me and say, hey, I'm not sure if we should do it this way, or can we do these things this way, or what do you think about this? But it takes some time for them to be able to build up that feeling that they can do that they can come out and we're, I think, very, very overly cautious about offending and talking down and how we craft emails and how we talk to them. And so even with that, my graphic designer just said, hey, I'm thinking like maybe if we did things this way, it'd be a little bit cooler. It'd be a little bit nicer. And I said, yeah, that looks great. Let's do that. But that was after months and months and months of him working for us. I guess that he finally came and said, hey, started sharing some feedback with us. Some of the things that keep in mind when you hire Philippines is that, you want to hire them for a job, for specific hours. They want some type of security. So even if it's part-time, it's like, look, I only want, I can only give you 20 hours. Here's the job, offer them a job. If you offer them hey, I want you to work with me when I need you or whatever, that's a much harder relationship with any person, not just someone from the Philippines. That's a much harder relationship. And, if you did that like with a freelancer, graphic designer or whatever here in the U.S., they're going to charge you premiums for that kind of, to be on call.
Yeah.
So, and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to help you. And you can't really expect a great turnaround with that either. So generally you want to wait until you're ready to hire them, even if it's just part-time. Their rates are very reasonable. We don't try to beat our people up on how much we pay them. Some of our people get more than a lot of other really good professions do in that country. So we love them and we appreciate them and we want to pay them. There's some other things, some little quirky things, like they're in December. There's a 13th month in the Philippines, so it's sort of like a Christmas bonus where you pay them 13 months of work for the 12 months of work they do. So you kind of give them a bonus. Different Philippines expect that different way. Some of them want it at the end of December. We've actually worked it out with our people so that we give it to them basically throughout the month of December, so they have money a little bit extra before Christmas, which we think is a little bit nicer.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. But it had something to do with so building that relationship, and you're talking about over time.
Yeah.
So when you first find a Philippine that you want to work with, something that can be very beneficial is building that relationship of trust, where you say, okay, let's just try this one project. Today, I want you to work on, so just give them a one-day project, and then maybe even pay them at the end of that day and say, great, that was a good first day. Now let's do this. Let me give you some more training, or let me see how well you do with this certain other task as you're trying to, maybe you're trying to figure out where they fit in your business and how you can use them best. And then pay them again at the end. So for the first week, maybe you pay them via PayPal every day, and then you start paying them every week, and then maybe twice a month, and then that's what you stay at, or maybe once a week, or maybe once a month. It's up to the two of you. But that gives you time to get to know them. That gives them time to get to know you, and you can work together.
With any person that is working online, a lot of people are cautious about the work that they're doing for someone. A lot of people have been burnt by companies who say they're going to pay them, or pseudo companies who say they're going to pay them, and then they disappear. And so a lot of the online workers are cautious about a new company and whether they're going to keep them, whether they're going to fire them, whether they're going to get rid of them, whether they're going to make them do a lot of work and then not pay them. They've been burnt, and so it is a good. When we started with our graphic, we had a previous graphic designer She wanted to go and get another job where she was working in an office, and so she went. We brought in a new one. When we brought him on, we paid him daily for a while, and then we did exactly that. Then we moved on to weekly. We like to pay weekly, just because we think that people like to get their checks weekly, and that was the general consensus when we asked them.
So it works out really well because then you get paid. Well, they're getting paid hourly anyway, but just thinking you get more paychecks. Anyway, it's just kind of nice. I've heard that people like working for us, so
we hope they do. We hope they do. But
at least that's what they say
to our faces, right? Yeah, we don't know what they say behind our backs.
So,
but if you're thinking about hiring someone, Philippines is a great country. So a couple places you can go to hire someone in the Philippines. There's a website called onlinejobs.ph, not .com, it's .ph. It is a paid site. You have to go. I think it's maybe $50 a month, or you can get a discount for multiple months. But you could just sign up for a month and stop if you wanted to, enough time to hire someone. But it's a great site, high quality people there. Don't be surprised if some people, you find them, you like them, it seems like it's going to work, and they disappear on you in the interview process. It's happened to us. We don't know why it happens. It just does. Maybe something came up. It's
maybe someone else hired them faster than
right.
we did.
We it's not like we were trying to beat them up on price. We saw what they were asking. We were willing to pay that, and then they just disappeared on us. Another website is easyoutsource.com. It's another, you don't have to pay to look on the site, but you do have to pay to post a job. So it's a little bit different model there. Another place you can go, you can post a job for free. You pay people through their system, and then the site takes a commission on those the payment. Is Odesk. So that's odesk.com. Lots of people from all around the world that are looking to work online and find jobs online. It's a great place to find people. We found quite a few people on Odesk. Even some of our U.S. people we found on Odesk. So it's a great place to go and find great workers, whether they're in the U.S. or the Philippines. So those are our top 3 recommendations for finding, if you're looking at hiring a Philippine. The wages, a lot of them are on those sites, especially online jobs. It's really great because people actually post, here's what we want to get paid. So you can get a great idea on wages.
So have you ever figured out why? There's a funny thing where they'll say, okay, I want to work full time, 40 hours, and I want to get paid this much an hour, or I want to get paid this much a month.
Yeah, no, okay, I know what you're talking about.
And I wondered if you figured out why.
I haven't really figured it out, but you will discover like some little quirky things in people's postings for their profiles and stuff. Because you would expect, well, if they're paid, let's say $3-4 an hour, and then they say, but I want to be paid, $1,000 a month, where you're like, well, I'm actually paying you more per month than I would be paying you for X. So can I just pay you per hour instead of paying you per month? They actually want more money working for a month. And, to me, in my mind, at least, it should be the opposite. If I'm paying you regularly, let's say full time, month after month after month, then I would think that would be less than what I would pay you per hour. Because you're getting a steady check out of that. But anyway, you'll see that you'll definitely on all these sites.
If you have an answer to maybe why that is, let us know.
Maybe it makes sense.
Because it's a pretty common thing.
Right. It is pretty common. It's not everyone.
It's not
everyone.
It wasn't just like one person. We're like, oh, maybe that was a typo. It's like.
Right.
Am I missing something?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I don't want to end on that note, but I just want you to know that, like, again, we love our Philippine workers. If you want to hire someone overseas, our recommendation always, first off, is hire someone in the Philippines. But be sensitive to the cultural differences. Learn a little bit about the cultural differences and be prepared for some of those cultural differences, because if you understand them and you work with them and work within those cultural differences, and pay them their 13th month, and talk to them with respect, and let them know that they don't have to worry about being fired, and let them know they're doing a good job. All the normal things, I guess, you would let anyone know that works for you, but a little bit more cautiously. You have to be a little bit more cautious when you talk to them. And I think one last bit of advice is, when you first start working for them, let them know right away that it's okay if they can't do something, that you're there for them, you'll answer questions, you'll help them through it, and that, if they get stuck, to come to you. Because sometimes if they get stuck, the same thing will happen, where they'll disappear because they feel embarrassed that, oh, I couldn't figure that out. So you want to make it very clear, hey, write back to me every day, tell me what you did, tell me where you struggled, ask me questions, what you're doing.
Is get daily reports.
So that I can help you get through this. You want to make sure that they know that you're there for them, you're backing, and if they don't know how to do something, that it's okay, that you'll help them do it, you'll help them figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below.
Have a great day.